Also, a really great thing about this ebook is Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be reviewing Sarah's Day's Sweat It to Shred It ebook. And I completed the whole 8-week challenge during quarantine. Yeah, so I'm just gonna talk about my experience and at the end, let you know whether or not it's worth it. Okay, so just to give a little bit of a disclaimer, I am not a personal trainer, nor do I have any qualifications in regards to personal training or nutrition. But I have been very active my entire life. I was a pretty competitive athlete in high school, and I have been working out in the gym since I'd say the age of 14, maybe even younger, but I've been playing sports my entire life, so that's kind of my background. Also, I've been following Sarah since like day one. I think it was like her first year into making YouTube. I started following her and I've been obsessed with her ever since. She's a big inspiration for me to live a healthy and active lifestyle, and also for this YouTube channel. She's one of the main reasons I wanted to start it, because I just admire her so much, and I think a lot of the things that she says and puts out there is like really beneficial, especially to girls. Like saying confident, no one will question you. I think that's just a really awesome saying, and I've tried to incorporate that into my lifestyle. Okay, so overall, the ebook. Well, the moves are pretty basic. The majority of the moves you would probably, and exercises you would probably already know. Even if you're a beginner, if you follow any fitness Instagrammer or YouTuber, you've probably seen them do a few of these exercises, which is kind of good. So then you don't have to learn too many new exercises, and you don't have to worry about your form because you've probably already done them in gym class. I really like the format because in the table of contents, you could just click week 1 and it would bring you straight to those. Hi, Nate. It would bring you straight to that week of workouts. So that I really enjoyed. Another great thing, especially during quarantine, is that no equipment was needed. I personally have one set of dumbbells, a 20-pound dumbbells, and ankle weights and some resistance bands and a yoga mat, and that's it, which is more than most people have in quarantine. So it's super easy at the fact that you don't have to use any weight, and it's like all body weight exercises. And also it's a very aesthetic ebook, so if you're into that, well, it looks very nice. One kind of warning I would give before I go into the pros and cons is that there's a lot of jumping. So if you have bad knees, ankles, hips, just be very careful because some of the moves you could get injured. Okay, so before I get into the pros and cons, I'm just gonna show you my progress. I have pictures from around the beginning of the ebook, the middle, and then the end. I did not weigh myself, nor did I take measurements. The reason I didn't weigh myself or take any body measurements is because right now we're in quarantine and that's really not something I wanna be focusing on. I obviously just wanna focus my health, well-being, whether that be my emotional health, my mental health, also my physical health, and I just felt like seeing a number and then not seeing progress, which I would not expect during this time, would make me feel bad and like I failed, and I just really didn't want that. So I have pictures where that way at least there's not a number kind of in my face. I also don't own a scale or a measuring tape, so. So for pros, it was pretty easy to follow for the most part. There were quite a lot of pictures, and if some of them didn't have pictures, you could just click on it. They would like tell you, in the ebook it would tell you, like see pictures if you click here. Yeah, and it was pretty straight up. It was like week 1, do this. And if you didn't even have to screenshot like the calendar that she gave you in the beginning, she had the workouts listed, like the days of the week on the side and of what week. So it was just super easy just to scroll through it on your phone and follow it. It was nice because it was also an 8-week program, which especially if you're not able to access a gym, that's like 2 months worth of workouts, which is a lot. Even though some workouts were repeated, you're gonna repeat workouts whether you're in the gym or you're not usually. So it was just nice to have 8 weeks worth of workouts kind of planned for me, and I didn't even have to think about it, I just did it. Like I said before, it's very beginner friendly. A lot of the moves are beginner friendly. However, some of the names of the moves are a little bit different. I find here in Canada, some of the words we use for certain things aren't what an Australian person would use for the English word. So sometimes I did need to Google the word if I didn't understand, or like scroll through her Instagram to find what she meant. But for the most part, she explained it on her Instagram, which was really nice. Which leads me into my next point. I really felt like doing this with her, alongside her, and everyone else doing it, that I was part of a community. Yeah, it was nice, because if I really didn't feel alone, especially during quarantine, during a time where you can't really go out and see your friends and work out with your friends, it was nice to feel like I had friends doing workouts with me. Really felt like I was a part of something, and like I was doing it with Sarah, so it was cool to like do it with someone I looked up to, even though she would do it like almost a day and a half before I would do a workout. So she'd be like, oh yeah, I just finished a sweaty shredder, and I was on like the Saturday challenge. So that's the only kind of downside of the time, I guess, is the time difference, but what are you gonna do about that? Yeah, it was really nice, and I felt like I was a part of something. The other thing too, you could do it in a very small space. Initially, I moved, so I'm in a different apartment now, but before I didn't really have room to work out. I had probably I had a yoga mat's worth of area and like length to do my workout, so I could do almost all the workouts in that area, which is pretty good, other than some of the challenges where you have to run. So, and then speaking of the challenges, there were some really fun challenges. I really liked they were like games almost. I really liked the card game one, and I kind of adapted that one to make it my own. And I actually got my partner into doing that one with me. He just really enjoyed the card game as a workout and would just do that as his workout like multiple times. So that was really cool. I got to share that with him. And it's like also really accessible. It's all on your phone, and you don't have to print it out or have a physical copy. You can just bring it with you wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And it's nice too that it's not like you have to wait for an Amazon delivery, like it's all on your phone. Okay, camera died, now we're back, onto the cons. So it's kind of expensive. It's like $70, which like is cheaper than a personal trainer. But she did do a 50% off sale before the first ebook, and I think the second ebook she also did a 50% off sale, so it cuts down from the $70 Australian Canadian to like $35, which for me is much more reasonable. Just being a grad student, I don't really have money just to throw around. So when I do want to spend my money, I want to put it towards something that's really gonna make a difference. But yeah, so I'm glad that she did that, especially during quarantine, because a lot of people have either lost their jobs or have like decreased income or something along those lines. So I'm glad she did a sale. But at full price, I think it is a little bit expensive. Okay, now to go along with my kind of mentioned before, it was extremely hard in the knees. I had knee surgery at 17, and I have minor arthritis in both of my knees, so like I have to be careful when there's like consistent jumping all the time. I'm glad she spaced it out, which was unlike Kayla Itsinus' ebook, where it was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you have to do HIIT and there's jumping. I like how usually the jumping was like the two sweaty shredders were usually jumping, and then the toning power wasn't. So at least that was good, but the ab kicks were just brutal. Like hurt my knees so bad. After the first time doing them, I was like, never again. I'm never doing this again. Yeah, so just be careful. If your knees aren't like great, just take it easy and just like keep an eye on yourself and try to, if you can't do the jumps, like your knees are hurting while doing the jumps, maybe modify it. Which brings me on to my next point. There's no modification. So even though it is good for beginners, if you can't do a full-on burpee yet or a full-on push-up yet, like there's nothing else you could do. I don't know, for me, I kind of have a hard time with that, not having that adaptations, and then you're paying $70 for a workout that doesn't even give you alternatives if you aren't able to do some of the workouts or it's painful for you. So that kind of bothered me a little bit. So some of the moves were repeated, like I said before, which could be a good or a bad thing. And since some of the moves were so generic, I don't really know if for me, that makes this ebook completely worth me investing in. But I did, so. Also, she has a timer recommendation, which is roughly $3, which like isn't much in the grand scheme of things, but when you already bought the ebook, I don't think you should need to buy an additional timer. And on top of that, there's only like the 4 set timers, I think. I don't know, I didn't buy it. I already have a timer that I can modify, and I just made up my own Sweaty Shredder toning power. And I can modify it, and I can add a bunch of different kinds of like timed workouts, and it was free. So I don't really know if the timer is worth it. Like I said, I live in Canada, so getting access to like a place to swim, especially when it's cold, is not really in the cards for me, especially if you live like in a city and you have like no access to lakes. Like there's not really an option, and pools are closed, and you would have to like buy a pool membership on top of that or get access to a pool. I just like, some of the activities were just not reasonable, but that's just for my climate, so it's obviously different when you live in Australia and it's always over 10 degrees Celsius. So for me personally, I do like to think I'm a little bit more of an advance when it comes to fitness. I'm definitely not a beginner. Now I'm probably more intermediate, just because I haven't been in the gym in 3 months. It's not my fault, but I do have pretty good body awareness, and for me, the only workout that I was like, holy, that was a good workout, for me was Sweaty Shredder. But I also don't love Pilates or yoga. I get bored very quickly if I'm not like out of breath or like feeling the burn. I don't know, it's just like my preference. Like I said, this is all about my opinion. But yeah, so if you're advanced, just like know that there are, if you're more of like a go kind of, I don't want to say athlete, but like fitness person, if you're more like into insane workouts, I guess, this might not necessarily be the best option. However, I've already started the second ebook. I'm in the first week, and the circuits in that one are killer. And I'm also going to do a review on that when I finish that ebook. Yeah, so maybe if you're advanced, you would almost want to skip to the second one. This book I find is also more for fat loss and not muscle gain. That is because it's body weight, and it's usually pretty difficult to gain any muscle from body weight exercises. I just find that for my body personally, I am also like at the point where if I want to gain muscle, I need resistance. So I would need resistance bands, I would need weights, but that's kind of where I'm at in my fitness journey. Other people, this might be great for them to build muscle. It's obviously great to lose fat. And then again, going off the kind of being a little bit more advanced, I do wish there was more intense weeks, like the last 2 weeks. Like those weeks are like awesome. I was thriving. I was like so happy to be pushed again. And it kind of sucks that if you are advanced, it takes all the way up to like week 6, week 7 to get to that point of being like, holy man, that was awesome. So just kind of keep that in mind if you are more of a gym goer, I guess. Okay, so now the level. I would say this is definitely a beginner or intermediate kind of ebook, kind of workout program, just in my personal opinion. Okay, so is it worth it? During this point in time, quarantine, not having access to a gym, having next to no weights, and having tons of time to kill, kind of. I do have work and stuff to do. Absolutely, this ebook was great to get my habit of working out back. So during quarantine, it is kind of lonely, so it was nice to have that community kind of feel. And then I didn't really feel like I was completely alone doing these workouts, which is really great. However, during like normal times, for me, this ebook would just not be worth it. It's not really my style of training at all, and I don't really benefit from doing toning power. Like I work out to feel good, and if I'm bored during my workout, then I don't want to do it. So for me, it wasn't worth it. If you do enjoy slower style of working out in the odd time you like to have like a hardcore, it's not HIIT, because HIIT is usually max, I think it's 18 minutes or 15 minutes. It's more like circuit training. If you enjoy that every now and then, this would probably be perfect for you. And then if you're a beginner too, it starts slow. Like it starts, I think there's 3 times a week in the first 3 weeks. There's like 3 workouts a week, and then it builds to like 4 or 5 and then 6 at the end. Yeah, so right now during this time, I would definitely recommend looking into it. I know Sarah sometimes does her workouts live on Instagram, so that would be something to look into if you're not too sure. And sometimes she even posts parts of the workout, so you could try those before actually committing to it. Also, a really great thing about this ebook is I was featured on Sarah's Instagram. I know, I died. Like, I'm literally getting like, I can't talk right now because it was just so nice. I was like on her story and then like on her actual Instagram too. Like, I wasn't tagged or anything, but like my picture was there and I was like freaking out, still freaking out. Yeah, so that was like, I don't have words, but that made me feel really good. And like, yeah, it's cool when you like look up to someone you're like, and you always like tag them and comment on their posts, and then they're like, I actually see you, and you're like, I love you. So yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like this video if you liked it, and leave any comments in the comment section below if you did this workout, if this video helped you decide whether or not you wanted to do this ebook or another one, and any recommendations you have for me to try workouts. And I'll see you in the next one.